Hi, today I want to show you my remote control DeLorean time machine. When I was looking at the remote control DeLorean time machines that were out there, most of them were these toy models that didn't go very fast and they'd break really easily, and then you couldn't really do much to fix them. You were stuck buying a new one, and they were expensive to begin with. So I decided to make my own. So what this is a Diamond Select Mark I DeLorean time machine from Back to the Future. So the original toy, I'm just going to get the remote out of the way. The original toy looked very similar to this. It was this unit here, this outer shell unit, and had this button on the back here that when you pressed it, it would light up and blink and play sounds and do various time travel functions. So what I did was I removed the original wheels and chassis off the toy and married it with a remote control hobby grade car. So what this means now is that I am able to control these effects remotely. So if I turn the wheel, you can see it fires right up and it turns on the sounds and lights and everything. I can still control this via the remote. I can still drive it. I'm just gonna, because I'm inside, I'm just gonna go really slow here. But it drives and moves around. I think this particular car is rated for about 15 miles an hour, if I remember correctly. Don't quote me on that. But in any event, somewhere between 15 and 20. But I'm able to do all the functions that this car was originally designed to do, like time travel mode, and I can drive one-handed with all of the effects going on. Next, I'd like to walk you through the car in a little more detail. The first thing you'll notice here that's been modified on the body is that I have a battery pack here in the passenger seat. So this battery pack contains 3 AA batteries that used to reside underneath the hood here in this compartment. The batteries I found stuck out too deep and were getting in the way of a servo that sits here on the RC car chassis. So I had to relocate them to here and then do some soldering to hook that up to the rest of the car to power the lights and sounds. Also, you'll see here there are 2 posts. These posts I've drilled holes for. They come from the RC chassis, and I don't have them in there now, but you can also add in the locking pins to keep this body on there, so when driving more aggressively the shell doesn't rock off. Similarly, in the back underneath the vents, I've drilled holes and have the posts sticking up, and similarly are able to put in the locking pins. Moving to the other side of the car, the driver's side, you see here there are 2 more wires. These wires control the sound effects and lights. So these wires run to the circuit board here underneath the button, and then also to the wheel well. And what this allows for is when turning the wheels, the sound effects are triggered. It's essentially the equivalent of pressing the button. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to shut off the camera because I can't do this one-handed, but I'm going to disconnect these 2 wires here, and then the wires on the other side going to the battery pack, and then we will remove the body from the chassis and show you what's underneath. Okay, I disconnected those wires here, so pull the battery pack out of the way. I'm just going to close the doors and now lift up. I'm going to watch the antenna here. Careful with that as to not damage anything. Okay, so as you can see, this is a standard RC car and chassis. And the great thing about this is, unlike the the official RC car time machine models that you see on eBay or elsewhere, is that being that this is a hobby grade unit, if any part of this were to break, if my motor were to go bad, or I were to have issues with an axle to break, or one of these plastic components or something was to break because maybe I accidentally ran it into a brick wall or something, or it flipped over for whatever reason, driving too hard, I'd be able to order replacement parts for any one of these pieces and just swap it out. So I'm not replacing the whole car, I'm just replacing one piece. So anyway, very convenient to have that set up. And then, as you can see, here is the time machine body right next to it, not wired up or anything. So that's where my battery pack would connect to. Underneath, you can see the battery pack has been cut out to make room for this servo area that sticks up quite a bit. So anyway, that is a quick look at my DeLorean time machine, the remote controlled DeLorean time machine. And yeah, hope you like it. Thanks.